Hello, my name is Leah Tim with Saint Beauty, and I am excited to show you our Camo Bridge Pop application today. We have really found that this technique is phenomenal for anybody who has any discoloration on their face or is looking to cover up dark circles, hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, redness, basically any kind of color correcting that you need. This is the technique that will seal the deal of smoothing out your skin tone and your face, all with still going with our one layer of makeup. So today I did already prime my face with my Milk Cream Moisturizer, and I did put my setting spray on. Always know that making sure your moisturizer is dry for about 10 to 15 minutes before you put any kind of application of makeup on your face. That's gonna help with your makeup settling nicely and not having any kind of a skipping or anything on your face. And then having that setting spray is an amazing primer for your face. So now that I have that all dried, I am going to start today with my buff brush. All right, so you know all of our brushes are dual-ended. This one has a little bit of a wedged look here, you can see, and the same on this side. This is our densest bristle brush that we offer, and this is going to be phenomenal for more of an artistic full coverage look, but this really helps deposit that Camo Bridge Pop technique because it is giving you the perfect amount of application of the product on the face in the areas that you need. So then we're gonna go into our palette here. This is my triple decker palette, and I am going to start with my camel color. Now, when we take the word camo, we are trying to disguise anything that we see on our face that is a distraction. So I'm gonna start with the small end of the buff brush, and I am going to go into my palette here, and I'm gonna go into one shade darker than what my main shade is, which is what we call our bridge. So I'm gonna take that tip of that brush here, and I'm just gonna tap in to my color, and then we're going to go anywhere that I have any type of distractions. Now, if you are looking to cover up dark circles underneath your eyes, wherever you have that dark circle is the only place that you want to put this color. For instance, if you do have some discoloration, typically right in the pockets of your eyes right here, a great technique is taking that smaller edge of that brush, and you can see how I have that product right on there like that. I am just going to take that brush and I'm going to tap solely on any of the dark areas that have the discoloration or any type of a dark circle pocket. So we are not going across our whole entire eye. As you can see, I don't have any darkness on the outer corners of my eyes. So we don't want to put a color there that is going to contradict what we're trying to do with our color correction. So you can see just those small little places. Again, this is going to be our camel color. So anything that has any type of discoloration, scarring, darkness under your eyes. So I have some redness in my cheek, so I'm just gonna take that brush and I'm gonna pat right on my cheek area here, and that is gonna help minimize my redness, like so. I also have some on my nose, on the sides, so I am going to pat that camel color on the sides of my nose. Okay, so this also is a great technique for using very little product. We have found with using the brush and the colors on the certain areas of the face, you are actually using less makeup than you would if you were just doing our regular basic hack or any other technique if you're applying with a brush. So either way is fine, but we have just found that this has been an awesome technique that a lot of our customers with discoloration or hyperpigmentation or even mature skin are really loving. So now that I have my distracted areas complete, a little bit of redness up in this area here, I am going to move into what is called my pop color. So I'm just gonna take my brush here and I'm just gonna run along my brush tile just that little bit, taking off any of that darker color. Now you know our colors don't transfer, so you don't have to worry about that, but I just love this tool for cleaning off my brush in between colors, especially eyeshadows. So now I'm going to go into my pop color. My pop color is going to be anything that I want to bring out brightness, lifting, and it's really gonna make it pop. Now, with mature skin, which anything over 35 and older is considered mature skin, so I am right there with you ladies. But as we get older, our temples start to sink in a little bit. We kind of are used to putting our contour across our entire hairline, but we're gonna change that up a little bit and we're gonna put our brightener in our temples because again, we do not want them to look more sunken in because anytime you create any type of a shadow, it's gonna create more of a a dimension look, so it's gonna be a little bit more sunk in, but we want that area to pop. So again, I'm gonna stick with that smaller edge of my brush and I'm just gonna tap into my brightening color and I am going to tap my temple area here and I'm gonna also do the exact same thing on this area right here. And see how that already brought your eyes right to the attention of my temples and making my eyes a little bit more lifted. So now I'm gonna take that color. And normally we would go on the inside corner of our eye, but you want to be careful because we did put that mango color here. So we do not want to put that brightener over the top here. It's gonna meld all nicely together once we start blending. So I'm gonna go on the corner edge of my eye right here, creating that uplifting area in the corner. Same thing on the other side here. And then if you can carefully do that, if you like that little extra pop on the very inner corner of your eyes right here, that's one area that some people tend to miss with their highlights. So just make sure you get that inner corner of your eye. You can use your finger too, but because the bristles in the small detailed area of this brush, I'm able to use that just in the corner. So you can see now I'm just gonna brighten that inner corner here. I also love to brighten up the corner, or excuse me, the middle part of my eyebrows and also down the middle of my nose, above my cupid's bow, and right in the middle of my chin. Now I'm gonna switch up brushes a little bit. I'm gonna go into my contour. So I'm gonna go into my favorite brush for contour, which is our detail brush. You can tell with the wedged end, it really helps in getting the detail of that contoured line. So I'm gonna go into my color right here, which I use Astoria. It has a little bit more of an ashy tone, which is gonna create that dimension and shadow that we're looking for in a contour. So now I just did the one edge, so I just took that side of my brush and went on the inner corner of that makeup, and I am going to just stamp along the lower edge of my cheekbone, like so. Biggest thing with where you know to stop with your contour is look at the outer edge of your eye and have it line up right with that. So we're just gonna go to the outer edge, up to the hairline, okay? You can blend it right away if you want. I love this brush because then where the product was, we're just gonna take that brush and we're gonna drag it up towards our cheekbone, softening that line a little bit. But like we said with the dimension, we want to have the dimension in our face. So we're just gonna slightly blend that. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, edge of our brush, coming over to the side of my face here. And I'm just gonna take that edge and I'm just gonna go right along my cheekbone here to the corner edge of my eye with that brush. And then I'm gonna take that brush and I'm gonna drag up into my cheekbone area. All right, we'll finish off the final blend when we do the rest of our colors. So now I'm gonna take that brush and I'm gonna go full-fledged into that contour, and I'm gonna start as if I had like a widow's peak on my head. I'm going to take that brush and I'm gonna drag down my hairline just to the top of where that brightener is, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side right here, okay? So now if you like to have a really dramatic contour line, you can leave it a little bit darker, but I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna start blending it into my hairline, like so, softening that look with that detail brush. So you can actually use this detail brush for a full face as well. I just find that I really love it for getting the details of the contour because we like to have that in certain areas. And with the wedge of the brush, it just really does a nice job with just placing the color in the areas that you want. All right, so now that we got our contour on, you can choose to do your nose. I like to do my nose last just because I like to make sure I place that contour in the right area and I don't blend over the top of it. But I'm gonna go with my jawline a little bit and I'm gonna take that brush and I'm just gonna go right along my jawline right here and I'm gonna drag down. If you are looking to get rid of any type of full face in your jawline area, going right along your jawline here and then taking that color and just dragging down into the shadowed area of your jaw is gonna help create that dimension. So see how I already added a little bit of dimension here? We're gonna do the exact same thing on this side, and we're not adding a lot. We're just kind of stamping that color on and dragging down into our jawline. All right. If you feel like your contour is looking a little bit muddy on your face, just blend a little bit more. Sometimes we can get a little bit heavy-handed, and with the ashiness of the contour, if we don't blend it properly, it can have a little bit of that look. Okay, so we're just gonna blend right here, under edge here, and dragging that down. Especially if you feel like you have a double chin, just taking that brush right here and stamping underneath, and then just dragging down is really gonna help. All right, now we're gonna switch back to the buff brush, and now we're gonna use the larger end of our brush, like so, and we're gonna go into our bridge color. Now, as you can see, I do have some empty spots on my face, and that is where our bridge color is going to go. Again, that is gonna be your main shade. It is one shade lighter than what we use for our camo, and I'm just gonna tap my brush in here like this again, and I'm just gonna start putting along the sides where I don't have any color yet, and we don't have to use a lot. We're just stamping in the areas that are already empty. Just a little bit, like so, all right? So now we have our bridge color, and everything's starting to come together nicely. Now you can choose to use this brush to blend. I'll use it a little bit just to kind of show you. Especially, I love it just right along this contour line, because look at how nice and easy that blends, while still keeping that really nice harsh contour line. So I'll do that on the sides of my jaw here, just to give you the feeling of how you can absolutely use this brush to blend and apply so nicely. And then we'll do the exact same thing on the other side, stippling in that color. Now again, the biggest thing with the process that I love about this buff brush, when you are doing your color correction, you really want to stamp on and let go. We don't want to be doing any dragging or swiping, because that is where it's going to start melding colors together. And when we want to keep it in a certain area, if we start dragging versus stippling that color, is where we can get into a little bit of trouble, right? Who doesn't like a little bit of trouble sometimes, right? All right, so now that I have that jawline done with blending with that, I'm gonna actually switch to my blush bronzer brush. So anytime I do a Camo Bridge Pop recommendation for your cart, I'm going to put both brushes in here. I really love both of these brushes for this technique. However, blending, I really love to finish blend with this one. It gives me just a little bit more of a softer look. So if you are looking to just stick with one brush, I would do this brush, but then you can also do your Camo Bridge Pop using your finger. But you're gonna find that these two brushes work so well together that that's what I always put for my recommendation, all right? So now we're gonna finish blending the rest of our face. So I'm gonna go to my smaller edged brush instead of the fluffy end where we have the bronzer, and I'm just gonna start tapping underneath my eye. Now remember, I put my brightener up in this area, but I put that darker camel color here. So when I start dabbing together, I'm just gonna continue to dab so they don't cross over each other and I don't get that darker color on the outer corner of my eye. So we're just gonna blend by stamping underneath my eye. So now see how I have that still really nice brightener, but it's gonna also camouflage the corner of my eye. So I'm gonna stamp on the inside of my eye right here again, and underneath up into my temple area, like so. Then we're gonna go over our nose, blend all that together, middle of our eyebrows, stamping, just continuing to soften that look. All right, so now again, this is the blush bronzer brush. We also do offer this brush in the bundle, so if you are looking for a bronzer, this is the way to go, because then you save $10. So you get a bronzer and a brush for $40. Amazing, right? Where else can you find dual-ended brushes that are usually typically under $40 themselves? Only with Saint. All right, so then I'm gonna just soften that contour line just a little tiny bit, and we are good to go. So now I still have that one layer of makeup using the Camo Bridge Pop technique, and now I'm going to add my lip and cheek. So I have really been into the color Heat Waves. I love it for everything. I've been using it for my lips, my cheeks, eyeshadow, bronzer, all of the above. So I'm actually going to use it as my lip and cheek today. So I'm just going to take that Heat Waves bronzer right here. It has a little bit of a reddish tone to it, and I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap on my cheeks. Plus it's like the most gorgeous fall color. And then I'm just going to softly blend that in until I have my desired look. Again, bringing up towards the eye, like so, just filling in those empty spots. Then I'm going to take that bronzer again, and I'm just going to switch to my blush bronzer brush, and I am going to just dab it in, put a little bit up in my temple area right here. I always put a little bit on the middle of my neck here. You can see I have a little bit of a lighter section here. This is where I really find that bronzer makes a big difference in bringing your whole face together along that jawline and the neck for colors together. So just by adding that little bit of that bronzer, you can see how that warmed up my face really nicely. I'm gonna blend up in the temple area right here. And then we'll just finish whatever residual I have along my jawline and above my lips. Now, like I said, I like to save that contour on the nose for last. So we're gonna take that detail brush again, and we're gonna go into our contour, and I'm gonna stamp that very small edge again, and I'm just gonna go right on my nose, very small and subtle, like so on each side. And then I always cap it off at the bottom here. I always feel like I have a little bit of a longer nose. So when I put that shadow right here, it makes it look like I don't have a waterfall nose that's gonna go, or infinity, that's gonna go on forever. So then I'm just gonna take that brush and I'm gonna blend it in just that little bit. But then I'm gonna switch to that smaller detailed end, and I'm gonna just bring that contour up into the inner corner of my eyes, creating, see how that created that little bit more of that dimension right here. And then I'm gonna take this on this side here, just ever so slightly, blending just a little bit on that inner corner down the sides of my nose, like so. We're gonna finish off with a little bit of illuminator. So now I like to use this illuminator right here. This is our rose gold illuminator. Difference between our cream and our powders: our creams are going to have a very nice light reflection look versus our powders, which is gonna have more of a highlighted look, like if you were to put an eyeshadow on your face. And then I'm gonna just take my finger like so, and I'm just gonna tap right above my cheekbone, just so that when I turn, you can get that really just nice, soft, light reflection. There's a time and a place for the powder versus the cream. For my everyday look, I love just the subtleness of the cream. But if I'm having a date night or a girls' night out, I for sure will play it up a little bit and switch over to my creams or my powders. And then I'll put that cream a little bit down the middle of my nose here. If you don't have an upper lip, this is a really nice trick you can do. Just put it right above that Cupid's bow. Adding that little bit of that shimmer right here is gonna help make that upper lip pop. If you like to create a little bit of a glow underneath your arch of your eyebrow, is a nice little spot to put your illuminator. And then we're gonna finish off with my Heat Waves bronzer on my lips, and you're gonna really see this color shine when I put it on my lips. So I have many of these. I keep one in my purse. I have the clutch, so I keep everything in my magnetics. So I'm just gonna take this off, and you can keep this tin on if you wanna put it in your purse. And you can just open it up just this little tiny bit and just pat it along your lip, like so. And you are good to go. Fill that in as little tiny areas, and you are all set. So that is your Camo Bridge Pop technique. Again, that will have 3 highlight colors: your camo color, your bridge, and your pop color, your contour, and then any other fun extra details that you may want to use. Again, if you are looking for the kind of look that I have today, you can get the lip and cheek with the blush bronzer brush as a bundle and just have that extra color, and then you're saving $10 with that. So that is your Camo Bridge Pop technique. Anybody who has discoloration or any dark circles or fine lines that they want to disguise, this is going to be your technique. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to send me a message. I absolutely love to serve each and every single one of you. So please never hesitate to ask any questions at all. Have a great day, guys.